down this road, and I know where to go. To find my travels as you can.
Define those travels as you can, everyone. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Hello, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog Peoples, Goglings of the world unite. What's going on? It's good to see everybody. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to episode 267 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron, and this is the show that we do here every Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern that focuses on story and narrative in games. Hold on a second. I have a box falling off my desk. One sec. There we go. Yes, this is the show that we do that focuses on story and narrative in games, and it is my great pleasure to welcome everybody to the show today. We have a bit of a change. Those of you who tuned in expecting to see D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, we had a medical situation that popped up. Everybody is fine, but it basically was a situation with someone dealing with a bad migraine and someone else dealing with being extremely fatigued due to other stuff that's been going on. And so, since, as you may remember, the party is in a pretty big fight. They are in the middle of a pretty big fight, and they've got a big fight ahead of them as they are in the end game here, closing in on the end game of Storm King's Thunder, or at least in the home stretch. The party decided that they did not want to take a chance of having to go through this without sort of their full complement of people involved. And so we have rescheduled to next week. Either we are going to do the full game, the full crew next week, or if someone has to reschedule again, which is a possibility, then what we'll do is we'll reverse the two tabletop games. So we will do Talisman Adventures next week with 3, and then we would do D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder with the full crew the week after. My hope, though, poisoned, outnumbered, slight case of scattered party. It's fine. It's fine. I can't see any reason that anyone would have a problem. But so my hope is that we will just be able to keep to our normal schedule, but just push it back by a week, in which case we would have the amazing people from D&D with GOG next week as the full complement, and then Talisman Adventures the week after that. So either way, that's fine. It just means more mission critical today, which is definitely fun because we've made good progress in that game. If you have not already done so, please make sure to follow the channel. That is always appreciated. Please make sure to check out our YouTube. I'm thinking of my own channel as I'm looking over at that. Although GOG does actually have some stuff. I have all of my Pen and Pixels for GOG over on YouTube. But please make sure as well to subscribe to the channel here on GOG.com so you can get those awesome DRM-free sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff. And if you haven't done so already, please consider clicking through to all of the individual streamers as well, because that definitely makes a difference for all of us, and we appreciate that too. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that we also have a little bit of a change for those of you who were not watching on my channel, because you may remember that I talked about last time that I have moved. And I have indeed done so. I have moved now, and so last week was the last week in the old place, which means it is now time to reveal what I have done for the new place so far. And there we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is the new facility. We are obviously still got a lot of moving left to do. I actually was frantically trying to find all my D&D books that had to be unboxed. So I was doing a lot of that sort of leading on here, and I'm just like, where is it? Where's the precious? But then I did manage to find it in the end, and I was able to find the book. And so that stuff is over, kind of hidden by the microphone, but that right behind me, those are all of my D&D books that are 5e. Also Adventures in Middle-earth over there. We've also got Covert Ops. We've got The Adventures of Indiana Jones. We've got Monster Manuals 1 and 2, Monstrous Manual. Their ill-fated attempt to put all the monsters into a loose-leaf binder. That didn't work out very well. And so thank you. And yes, now this is a big place. We have a much larger home, and this is easily the largest streaming space that I've ever experienced, like by a country mile. It is so much bigger. So just as an example, again, pardon the mess for everything, but so there's the window that is right out there providing this amazing light. But right there over there is where my daughter, little Arv, is going to be putting a logo. My Arvin Elleron logo is going to go over there on that wall at some point, which is pretty cool. Then we've got this, and then we've got the entire other side. Let's see if I can show that. Let's see if I can show that. There we go. The entire other side, like, of the office, which is a bunch of stuff that I've, again, still unpacking and moving. I got a lot more to do. But all the way to the other chimney and a window where you can see the ocean from, which is pretty cool. And all of that. And then you've got me back over here. So you have, wait. Why are you doing that? Oh, there we go. I was going to say, like, much better. There we go. And then that's me. And I gotta fix this. Sorry. I got too ambitious. I clearly got too ambitious here. That's not right. That's right. I got too ambitious and I got too big for... I made assumptions I should not have made. Hold on a second. Come on, you dog. Dirty dog. That's not right. That is not right. I had it set, and then I wanted to show everybody everything, and then mistakes happened, and that's how these things occur. Okay, there we go. I was like, I gotta fix that somehow. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's a big place, and this is the attic of a of the home that we now own, which is a 200-year-old home. Was built in, actually over 200. It was built in 1803, and this is a 200-year-old home that was owned by a sea captain. And so it's actually very close to the ocean. It's about a block away. If you turn right out of my driveway and go straight down this way, you can't see it, you will see the ocean, which is pretty cool. So we feel very fortunate. And I'm just super, super excited about the effect. I know the depth of field. I got the bokeh going on. Yeah, look at that. Bokeh. So I am very, very pleased with the feeling of it, and I'm excited to have more of it. So do I know the provenance of the captain? Hidden treasure map. Well, you know what's funny, actually, Saber, is that there is, in fact, down below in the basement, there is a safe. Like an old style turn of the century safe. It's definitely not 200 years old, but it's a safe that clearly has to date back to like turn of the 20th century, like, 1900-ish, something like that. So there is a safe. I have looked inside it. There is nothing inside the safe. Nor have I put anything in the safe because, I don't actually have the combination or know how to get the safe open. But anyway, so I'm very excited. So this is the new place. I'm already starting to put that together. You can see that I've got the screen, the D&D screen above me. When all's said and done, I'll have those as well. I'm thinking of having different screens from different eras up there because I have, obviously, my D&D screen. Actually, I think I have my D&D screen. Listen, we're going to get to Mission Critical in a second, but if Kilgore gets to do box hype, I get to show this off occasionally. I have... Yeah. I have over here... I have a bunch of these screens, including, I think, one of my first edition screens. Character sheets? Yeah, I do. Haha. Yes, I do. Oh, baby. You know it. I've got screens for days. All right, hang on a second. Let me not show that. All right, I have my original. Okay, here we go. I have my original. I've got my original AD&D Dungeon Master screen with the classic. Y'all know that picture right there in the back. And then we got this. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So if I put this up like, let's see if I can put that up like that. Yeah. No, don't fall. Darn it. You didn't stay up there for 3 seconds. Come on now. Give me a break. Help. Help me out. You bro. Stay up. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to have to secure that better. But there we go. So now I got 5E. I got 2E up there. Yeah. Got the classic Monster Manual image. So I am excited. So yeah, we've got this stuff now. So and I have also a 4E D&D screen somewhere in my stuff. I'm not going to search through it right now, but so yeah, so I've got other stuff up there too, and so very exciting. Were those like in DOS? Yes, pretty much, if not before that. So anyway, I've just gotten started. By next week, you'll see there's even more stuff that's in the right places. I have more books to go through, and then I got a ton of games that I'm going to put up there. And I'm going to have shelves basically running all the way down this wall that are somewhat like this, actually. Shelves all the way down that wall that I'm going to put stuff on, plus that logo, as I say, which is going to be going over there. And then probably even a few posters that I want to be able to hang in different places. So I'm excited for what this is going to look like. In the end, it's going to be really nice. And already I feel just it's a real relief. I when I moved out of the old place, I didn't realize until after it was all done and I was sweeping up. This was literally the last day we were there because we left that day and we came up here the same day. We had been moved. It took us about 2 days to move, essentially a day and a half, really. And I was in the middle of cleaning up, and I remember looking back at that office and being like, how did I stream here for 9 years? Because next month is going to be my 9-year anniversary of streaming on Twitch. I've been streaming since April 2012. And I was like, how did I stream in this place? Because it's so freaking small. And I've streamed in closets and I've streamed it, but I mean, like, like the setup that I have here, which feels expansive for the first time in my life, I was just kind of like, dang. Like, so I am really humbled that I have the opportunity to move to a place like this, and incredibly excited that I get to set things up. And everything is starting to come together. Like, for instance, I have been, for the last couple of days, having to deal with the carpet in this place rolling around on it. And I just got today, a one of those vinyl mat type of things that goes down on carpets. So now, oh yeah, I could just roll this way, or roll forward, or roll around. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! Look, mono hands. It's great. Super exciting. Yes, I feel less constricted. I feel considerably less constricted. I even have close access so that if need be, I can give you the echoing voice of God. Just in case, you know. They see Arv rolling. He's going. And that is apparent that he's white and nerdy. Yes, he's white and nerdy. That's right, he's white and nerdy. Well, you know he's white and nerdy because he's white. It's the Sam the Eagle of that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I'm very excited, and yeah. But that said, enough of sort of me being really excited about my room. I just wanted you all to see it for a moment, so that you could be. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, probably not, but I am just like, I'm like on cloud 9 about it, because I'm just like, finally, I have a place that I feel super comfortable in. That I'm able to stream in the way I want to. And so that is very exciting. Yeah. Oh, I don't think actually, I know. Because if I did, I'd be banging into the printer. The printer is actually beyond my reach at the moment. I have to roll over to touch the printer. Before, the printer was here and I always had to, like, you know, keep it from banging into my arm. Before we get started, I do want to do one little test for chat. And this is also going to be a test for Darksaber, because I know that Darksaber has, I'm pretty sure, actually, I don't know for sure. I think Dark Saber has played this before. So Saber, you still in chat? I know. I do. I got my television right there. Everything is hooked up, Grows. So Saber, are you here? Okay, here we go. No, this is not an audio screeching test. So I'm going to remove chat so it makes it easier to see. So can you see down there, Dark Saber? Anyone who was in my chat earlier today in my channel is forbidden to answer this question, okay? This thing I'm pointing at, Saber, do you know what that is? Or does anybody in the chat know what that is? This box right here. No spoilers. It is a box. This is a game. Good. That's a good guess, Minister by Angels. No, as far as I know, there is not a mission critical board game. At least if there is one, I'd love to know about it. But the box you just kicked. Those of you who are not on my channel, any guesses? Dark Saber, any guesses as to what that might be? Kilgore probably wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not sure if you would know this, Kilgore. Maybe you would. Maybe. That is a good guess, but it is not Space Crusade. That's a good guess, but no. I will give you a hint. This is part of a franchise that started in the 1980s and has continued actually up till the present, has been made even into a digital version of this particular game. And it was made by a very famous company that you certainly know. So it started as a board game, eventually became a digital game. And this is a famous company. Started in the 80s, but continues till this day. Any guesses? No? Yes! Yes! Holy cow! Saber, you're right. I had to stop and banged into my microphone. Yes! It is Blood Bowl. Let me show you. It's actually a part of Blood Bowl. It's elves versus dwarves. Good stuff, man. Oh, I'm completely turning the wrong thing. To that. See, I had a feeling Saber might get this. Yeah. I wasn't sure whether this would be your type of thing for this, Kilgore, but yes. This is the Elves and Dwarves expansion, thank you very much, for Dungeon Bowl. But as you can see, it is for Blood Bowl. And again, from a classic Games Workshop. Because I was pretty sure that because you played this. Haven't you played this on stream, Saber? Haven't I seen you play Blood Bowl? This is back in the day when Games Workshop did something other than Warhammer all the time. Yep, exactly. You've played it, but you haven't streamed it. Because I seem to remember that we talked about it at some point. And, of course, Games Workshop was the original creator of Talisman. And so, all of that is the case. So, yes, that is just one of many games that I have. I don't actually know why I have that game, to be honest. Like, why I got it in the first place. But I did. Okay. All right, let me just notify the family. Good. So yeah. So Dungeon Bowl. Yeah, and I don't remember. I think I just started it, but then I didn't have anyone to play it with. I think that's why. I think I got it and I was like, this is great. I was an only child. I was raised as an only child. So I was like, can I play with my dad? No. Play with my mom? No. Play with my dog? No. I guess I'll just look at it then. Oh man, this is why I love solo stuff so much at the time. But anyway, yeah, so many games like that are available. But having said all of that, you came here for some games, so let us go play some games, shall we? But yeah, it was very much good times. They also made a game called Chainsaw Warrior, which was one of the hardest solitaire games you will ever play, about this sort of hole that opens from darkness, and this creature literally called Darkness comes out, and you go through this house, which is assembled basically as like a deck of cards, and you play it out, and you find a room and different creatures you have to defeat, and you have to get this special thing, which is the lance, which is the only thing that can destroy darkness, before you encounter darkness, or you're just dead. Yeah, I know, and I've seen that on the phone, but even the phone one is harder. Yeah, even the phone one is easier. Board game is like just very difficult, or the card game, I should say, is very difficult. Blood Bowl is fun. You've played in real life. I've never played it in real life. I never got the chance. It was just not to be. Okay, let's do it. Into mission critical time. Yes, I would like to restore. Okay, last time that we were here, we were dealing with this tactical console thing. Yeah. Okay. I am going to... Right, formations. I've got to fully admit that I am not particularly...
Deploying.
Yes, good. Computer control. Excellent. I think it's interesting to watch this. I don't actually think it's particularly interesting to play it, at least not for
All
me.
enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
So we're doing the tactical stuff right now, but this I don't play this game to play a mini real-time strategy game. I play it to play the adventure part. So I'm getting through this section. Okay, concentration of force. Sounds good. First truly challenging scenario. Good thing I put it on easy then.
Deploying.
Whoops, whoops, whoops.
Heavy target destroyed. All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Okay. Taking the offensive. All right. Again, I don't... the military strategy stuff, I think, is... It's okay, but it's definitely not, to me, the sort of... It's not the peak of this game. And so, rather than wasting time doing something, I don't... This is not what I play. You should go talk to Dizzy for real-time strategy. Turn-based, yeah. Real-time, generally not.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Okay. 7, Miller's Nightmare. Training scenario is based on an actual encounter during the later stages of the battle for Delta Bavonis 5. Johann Miller, commanding officer of the Allied heavy cruiser CVS Trifid, lost his own ship and 3 cargo vessels he was escorting when the captain of the UN cruiser UNS Sophia came up with the innovative attack pattern you're about to see here. All right.
Deploying.
Wow.
Heavy target destroyed.
It was not successfully completed. It's freaking easy difficulty. Let's
Deploying.
go. What the heck? Man.
Heavy target destroyed.
Wow, really? Okay, there are 2 left.
All enemy ships
Good.
have been destroyed.
Destroyed. Good job, computer. Final skills test. Okay.
Deploying.
It's interesting that this was added into this game, actually. I appreciate the attempts to do something like this. I don't know that it fully fits within the context of the rest of the game, really, but...
All enemy drones have been All destroyed. Enemy ships have been destroyed.
All right. Good. Okay. Overwrite ARF. Continuing. Okay, back to the game. Back to the actual game. Okay. So, now I think we have to go back to, if I'm not mistaken, we have to go back to 08. All right. One thing I wanted to check on is that I want to put the seismic probe. Okay. I wanted to attach these things together because it struck me that it all came from the same ship. So I wanted to make sure that I could attach these things together for use. I still don't know what it's going to be used for, but strip the rubber-like insulation from the end of the wire so you have a 10-centimeter length of the thin interwoven strands underneath. You thread these strands through the metal fittings and antennae on the back of the seismic probe. When you are done, the wire is securely attached to the probe. Okay. And now that means I can attach the probe to probe launcher. Okay, good. Now we're all set. Now it has what I need. So I think what needs to happen now is, I think I've done everything except I need to get back, like basically take the ship over. So I've got to go down and basically get through here. So we're going to try to get on the ship and see if it's actually launching, because the ship was going through some like diagnostic thing. And so I need to make sure that... Okay, let's see. Engineering, reactor spaces. I think it's deck 6. Tuhu Luna Nights. I don't even know what that is, Gross. What is Tuhu Luna Nights? I am not familiar.
Deck 6.
I'm not familiar with that. Okay, let's see. Let's have you close the door. You have no clue? That could have been bad. Okay. Open door, please. Otherwise, I would have been not doing well. So I don't think I have my suit on. Oops. There we go. Oh, it's going to make me go back and put the thing on. It would be nice if I could open the doors from the ship. I understand why they can't do that, but... Alright, so that means I need to... Alright, put on the suit. Right, remove the headset. Put on the suit. Put on the helmet. Ugh. Attach it to the suit. Okay, wait. Alright, now we open the shuttle bear. We depressurize. Oh, really? Retro style platformer plus bullet hell kind of thing. Yeah, that will not be I will. That's more 8-bit style. That is definitely not going to be my thing. Only bullet hell I ever played was Robotron.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
What? Enemy inbounds? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Oh, wait, I can't. I was about to take it off. Oh my god, I was about to take the suit off. Okay. Control room is pressurized. This is pressurized. Okay. Now, remove. Put on. Alright, I gotta get back to the bridge.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
I'm getting there. I'm running back up to the bridge to repel all boarders and other people's.
Deck 1.
Okay. Let's see. Open. Open says me. Oh, darn it. I'm wearing it. All right. There we go. Okay, computer's giving you enough warning so you've had enough time to prepare for combat. You spend a few final anxious moments waiting for the enemy ships to come within effective range of the Lexington. When they do, you jack into the hype telecon system. And computer control. And continue.
Deploying.
Alright, so this is not a drill.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. Heavy target destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Okay. I guess we did it. Are of unsure. Okay. Alright, where was I? Alright, now we go back down. All the way to deck 6. We go back down to deck 6. And then we,
Deck 6.
and we go back down to deck 6. Looking and seeing, I'm going to have to redo my, where my light panel is, too. Okay. Alright, righty. Something like that. Alright. Now, I put on my suit. Okay, put on the suit. I'm thinking about, from Avengers, put on the suit. Put on the suit. Alright. Okay. Now I'm going to depressurize. Depressurize. Door. Open the door. Okay. Use. Still running its automated pre-flight checklist. Not ready to depart. Yeah, when the pre-flight checklist is complete, you'll be able to use the autopilot to depart from the Lexington and then descend to Persephone. All right. It's not quite ready. I assume it will tell me when I'm ready then. That's true. Now that I have so much space, it's fitting that that's a good point, Gross.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
Ah, okay. So, close door. Close door. Okay. Pressurize, pressurize. The UN is not joking around with this, are they? Okay. Remove. Good. Put on the headset. Thank you, sweetheart. That's good. Thank you, honey. Bye, sweetie. Alright, so we're going up to the bridge.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
Yeah, I'm going to the enemy contacts.
Deck 1.
Okay, attach the headset. Okay. Here we go. The larva was here and then was gone. Okay.
Deploying.
Whoa, that's a lot of drones.
Heavy target destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Fill out the space with still box stuff. Exactly, Darth Sister, which is what's going to happen when all's said and done. That's exactly right. That's funny. Okay. Save it. I don't know whether this running back and forth thing is actually triggering something or if I could just wait and they would come back, but I assume that, you know, I have to destroy enough of these things that eventually, you know, the game's like, all right, good, you've warded off whatever the UN attack was before I go down to Persephone. That would be my assumption and my hope.
Deck 6.
Okay. Getting real good at getting into suits, though. Alright, now we put on, so we attach the oxygen to the suit. Aha! Finishes planetary checklist. Good. So, one last time. Depressurize. Depressurize. Open door. There we go. Alright, now it's time to get on to the lander and travel. The lander has finally finished its checklist. You go back inside the Lexington long enough to compose a quick message describing the events to date, a message to be left looping on the ship's computer in case you don't make it back. As you record the message, you can't help but think that fate has caught up to you after all. It's your turn to leave a message for those that will follow. You think of all the haunting logs and messages that were left behind by Dana, Tran, and the other members of the Lexington's dead crew. When you are done, you return to the shuttle bay, discard some of the items that you think will be of no use on Persephone, and enter the lander. A moment is needed to get buckled in, button up the lander, and engage the craft's autopilot. The lander's small OMS engines fire, and you are on your way. Whoa. Whoa! Controls are dead. Well, that was a great landing. Great success. Midship compartment of the lander is eerily quiet except for the keening of the wind over the metal of the hull. Ramp on the back of the lander was torn off by the impact. I guess we're not using that again. Cargo compartment is open to the toxic atmosphere of Persephone. You climb down from the lander, taking extra care in the heavy gravity of Persephone to avoid falling any significant distance. You are standing in a furrow dug by the lander in the crash. A turbulent sky filled with roiling clouds is visible above. The belly of the lander seems to have shredded on impact. A number of shards of hull metal are littered around the impact site. Can we take some? Alright. Okay. The lander dug a deep furrow through the snow, ice, and rock on impact. Like, is this how it was supposed to be? Like, they didn't have better landing procedures than this? Twisted shards of metal from the lander's belly are embedded in the sides and the bottom of the furrow. Oh, I know why my light's off. Hold on a second. That's more like it. Much better. That, and also could up the ante on this a little bit. That's more like it. Perfect. Much better all the way around. Okay. Right, twisted shards of metal. Okay, I already know about the furrow. What about the snow? Ground is covered with seemingly endless drifts of dirty snow. Given the negative 290 degree temperatures, it's a little cold. That's just Canada, right? I assume. And the odd purplish color, you surmise that the snow is probably a mixture of frozen chemicals, perhaps hydrocarbons like methane or octane. Can I take it? You scoop up a glove full of the chemical snow and let it dribble back down. Take it again. Okay. This is the surface of Persephone. You are standing on a plain covered with chemical snow, a monotonous landscape broken by stark fingers of rock pointing skyward in the distance. The cloud layer above is periodically lit by streaks of lightning. You can hear the crackling of the perpetual electrical storm through your suit mics. Sharp spires of jagged rock claw skyward from the endless drifts of chemical snow. It's a big room. Sticking out of the snow and running down the sides of the cliffs and frozen rivulets are a series of sharp chemical ice formations that resemble large crystals. In the negative 290 degree temperature of Persephone, the ice is as hard, if not harder than rock. Can I take some? What if I were to use... Alright. I'm going to need that at some point, I think. A professional rock climber would have a tough time on one of these towers, even if he wasn't wearing a spacesuit in a storm on a high-gravity world. Alright, I get it. I get it, game. I get it. The surface of Persephone. Wait. The sky overhead is a seething, roiling mass of brown and gray clouds, lit from inside by flashes of lightning. You can hear the crackle and hiss of the continuous electrical storm through your suit mics. Okay. What's up, Itomen? The surface of Persephone. Whoa! Hello! A silver tower emerges out of a huge ice formation at the back of the box canyon. The structure appears to be made of a reflective metal that glows dully in the dim light coming out of the turbulent sky. Well, well, well. You climb slowly up the jagged ice formation, fighting the oppressive gravity of this hellish world. Eventually you reach a point about a third of the way up the formation. You can't climb any further without falling. You're perched precariously. Okay. Well, what if I used... alright. You crank up the cutting torch. The dense hydrocarbon atmosphere of Persephone causes the normally crisp blue flame to burn twice its normal size with a strange, muddy yellow color. You bring the flame to bear on the ice, taking care not to lose your balance. After several minutes of hard work, you succeed in melting a small cylindrical hole. I have an idea. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. I think I should be pretty safe. Now we're going to wait, chat. Now we are going to wait. Because when the I didn't think about it until it said a small cylindrical hole. I was going to cut, like, things to like climb up with, but there you go. This is not modded, no. This is, of course, GOG.com's version of it. But even when it came out, this had some refinements. I think it was Legend Studios that made this. And this had some refinements that put it a little bit ahead of its time, honestly, in some ways. So, yeah. Yeah, presumably Fahrenheit, you Christian. Remember, you Christensen, this is the United States, not the United Nations, right? So... Are super unsure. Oh. I thought it... Okay, I'm glad I checked. That would have taken a long time. Okay. 1 minute. That's better. So we got 1 minute. Now let's get the hell out of Dodge. Ah, damn it! I knew that was going to be a problem. Okay. Okay. Let me try that again. I gotta... Yeah, no, I agree. I gotta reduce this, but not by that much. Alright. Let's make it, let's make it 3 minutes, alright? Here we go. Kaboom! There we go. The bomb which would have blown up the ship. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Actually, no. Okay, good. Here we are, chat. The powerful explosion has revealed the entrance to a tunnel. Frozen margaritas for everyone. Okay. The tunnel ends abruptly in a huge cavern dug out of the rock of the planet's crust. You are standing at the edge of a sharp drop-off looking into a vast square stone cathedral that must be thousands of meters on a side. Wow. Okay. A diamond-shaped platform is suspended in the middle of the cavern. 4 bridges lead from the platform to openings in the walls of the cavern. Bridges made of a strange mottled material lead from the diamond-shaped platform in the middle of the vast cavern to openings in the walls. Okay. Okay, that's cool. How do I... A raised, diamond-shaped platform emerges from the intersection of the 4 bridges that converge at the center of the cavern. It's made of a darker material than the bridges. Okay. How do I go? Oh, these are all my... That's all my equipment. Oh, I know how to get there. What? You need an empty click. Okay. Compressed gases, right. Okay, here we go. So. How do I... the heck? Put the seismic probe in the probe launcher, right? Then fire... I don't know what they weren't intended to do, game. Oh, that's the... Okay. Supposed to put the gas cartridge in the probe launcher. Alright, now... You line up the sights of the probe launcher with the bridge structure across the chasm, designed to aim high in order to compensate for the heavy gravity. With some trepidation, you pull the trigger. Okay. The probe seems to have anchored itself solidly in the material of the bridge. You pull the wire taut and secure it to the side of the chasm. As you are struggling with this end of the wire, you accidentally knock the probe launcher into the chasm. Oh, damn it. That was dumb. Well, alright. Time to traverse the wire. You ponder this situation for a moment before attempting to traverse the chasm. Eventually you realize you can clip the tether rings on your suit to the wire and dangle over the chasm, pulling yourself along the length of the wire until you reach the other side. You can thus avoid having to cross hand over hand, which would have you relying on your arms to support 2.5 times the normal weight of your body and your suit. You put your plan into action. The crossing takes... Thank you, Lady Game Guy. I love the name. Welcome to the DRM free community. The crossing takes only a few minutes, but feels like an eternity. When you finally reach the bridge structure in the cavern, you barely have enough strength to pull yourself up and over the edge and flop onto the surface. You rest for a few precious moments trying to regain your breath. When you feel like you can resume normal movement, you stand up. Vast cavern. Alright, I know about that already. Okay. A lip of the lighter colored bridge material runs around the edge of the diamond-shaped platform in the center of the cavern. Okay. This is the top of the platform in the center of the cavern where all the bridges converge. It seems to be the focus of this vast installation. Alright, can't go there. I can go there. Can't go there. Looks like I can't go... I can only go forward. This is a secondary, smaller cavern with rock and crystal walls. A pyramidal depression in the middle of the cavern draws your attention. Alright. Alright. I don't think I have a pyramid. I don't have what I need yet. The cavern is lined with bands of rock and blue crystal. The floor that you are currently standing on is actually an elevated surface. You are surrounded by a moat of what looks like a solid, glassy-looking substance. Says it can go down. You are now inside the pyramidal depression. The depression has smooth walls that gently slope up to the cavern floor above. In the middle is a platform of some kind. Let's see, I have a blue crystal rod. About 30 centimeters long. Although the body of the rod is round, the ends are square. Okay. And then I've got a... Oops. 30 centimeters long. The body of the rod is round, the ends are square. Okay. Cylinder is suspended over the basin by 3 crystalline tubes. There's a drain. Okay, so that's got to go... So... I don't have what I need yet. But I definitely got more stuff than I had before. Oh. Okay, that's where this goes. So I'm probably going to need to find something to make this work, I would guess. Thank you, Cyberpunk86. Welcome to the DRM Free community. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to need to find something like that. Wait. Wasn't I just here? Oh. Okay. What the heck is that? Octagonal block of an ochre-colored substance. Upon close examination, you see the ochre material is a combination of different elements in a crystalline matrix. Force generated by the platform. Okay. I wonder if I can fire up the... Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure how well it entirely works. When in doubt, cut it. Okay, that's interesting. It doesn't really help me, though. An inert storage matrix. I don't have a lot of options. Interesting. It's a good question, Wyvern's Hill. There was that might have been the case with Lands of Lore, actually. I'm trying to think about those. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure that it looks. I mean, it's not totally bad as a concept. It's just a little weird, but all right, so I can't do that. Oh. Okay. A blue prism. Square crystal cube. It seems to shimmer and scintillate with blue light. Upon closer examination, you see the shimmering effect is caused by a complex internal crystalline structure. Aha! The square slot. Yep. Blue key must have broken a bond. Maybe the key held an electrical charge. Can I take that back? No, it's stuck. Alright, I didn't even realize that that's what I didn't notice that there was a hole before, or... Okay, so now we know what we're doing, chat. I totally did not realize that there was another spot there. Yeah. So there's got to be a hole somewhere here. I think. Actually, wait. Is there? Maybe not. Okay, I wasn't as foolish as I thought I was. Okay. Because I didn't see a hole there, and I was like, maybe. Yes, it's a little weird, Wyvern, so I would agree. Thank you, Lone Wolf. Yeah, getting there. A lot more things to put together, and put and assemble, but, yeah. Oh, I already went there. That's the basin. Yeah, I gotta get that ochre substance out somehow. Office attic. Yeah, it is. It is on GOG, and that was what made me so excited when I had... Ah, ha, ha, ha! There we go. The yellow prism. Triangular crystal prism that seems to shimmer and scintillate with yellow light. Upon closer examination, you see the shimmering effect is caused by a complex internal crystalline structure. So, I put this in here, get this thing, go back to the other thing, put that in there. The blue plus the yellow is going to make a key, which will let me retrieve the ochre thing. Still don't know why I need any of that, but... There we go. I won't be able to take that back, will I? No. That's not the right one. Nope, nope. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Damn it. Keep going right. Keep going right. Always right, chat. Isn't that the dungeon way? Always go right. There we go. Prism fits perfectly into the triangular slot. Both prisms are in place. You watch them impatiently, expecting them to melt into the tube, cylinder, or basin, but nothing happens. The prisms so obviously belong here, but there must be another step required in order to get them to do whatever they're supposed to do. Maybe I have to get the keys back? Yeah, it's such classic adventure stuff. Use the key on the key with the thing and the stuff. No, no, no. Damn it. Alright, so that's not it. I don't even have to scroll now. I can see what's here. I got left. I mean, I'm assuming that I need the blue and yellow thing to make a key, something to get that ochre thing out. I'm assuming. And probably the ochre thing is what goes, actually, because look. No, shoot, I did it wrong. There, look at this, chat. Watch as we go up. There's a hole right there, and I bet the ochre thing goes there. Assuming control. I will address this personally. Alright. So, Okay, I can't get that yet until I get the other keys. I need to do something to get it moving. I already tried that. This thing here. Maybe I need to melt them. Aha! Shoot. There we go. Green! Liquids from the melted prisms have combined to form a strange glowing green fluid. As the bottom of the basin is covered with a new substance, you notice a quick flicker out of the corner of your eye. You quickly turn your head and see a barely discernible flash of light race up the sides of the pyramidal depression. The phenomenon is echoed by the crystal in the walls of the cavern around you. A flash of light so quick that you almost miss it, perhaps an indication of a state change in materials around you. It might well affect the entire installation. Intrigued, you turn on the scanner and hold it over the mysterious green fluid. The green fluid is composed of molecule-sized blobs. These blobs are active, moving. They almost seem to be alive. The blue and yellow prisms must have held the chemical components for these blobs in stasis. When the components combined, the result was the creation of these tiny nanomachines. There we go. The bottom of the basin is covered with the viscous green liquid created by the combination of the yellow and blue crystals. Alright, millions upon millions of molecular-sized blob-like nanomachines. Okay, but then what? Alright, so what I probably need to do now is I need to get the ochre thing. Which maybe now I can do that because it's no longer held by the same force. That's... No, it's still stuck. Alright, can I get the ochre is the question. Maybe I put the ochre thing in the green thing and maybe they'll be really excited about that and then... Ahaha! No resistance at all. The force that held the block in the platform seems to have been completely nullified. Awesome. Okay, so now I put the ochre thing with the nanomachines, presumably. Let me save this first. Okay. No, that's the wrong one. Also the wrong one. Okay, so that's not it. There it is. You drop the ochre block into the seething green fluid. It begins to melt. You hold the scanner over the boiling liquid. The first generation nanomachines are using the raw material in the ochre block to build millions of larger, more complex micro machines. Okay. Bottom of the basin is covered with a seething layer of ant-like micro machines. Machines are so tiny and so densely packed that the resulting mass of micro machines looks very much like an agitated liquid. Okay. Can I drop the metal fragments into the viscous liquid inside the basin? Reaction is immediate and furious. Intrigued, you turn on your scanner and take a look. Ooh! Dang! Is this good or bad? It looks terrifying. Once you figure out that the micro machines in the basin are short on raw material, you make several trips back to the wrecked lander to scavenge additional pieces of the hull and ship systems. As you put each load into the basin, the metal melts away as it is disassembled by the microbots and used for some mysterious construction task. Eventually, you see the outlines of something beginning to form in the basin. After a number of trips, you start running out of easy pickings and resort to ripping cabinet doors out of the cargo compartment. By then, the basin is dominated by the gleaming metal skeleton of a large insect-like robot. The microbots are nearly done with the first of what seems to be the next generation of machines. When the new robot is nearly finished, the micro machines in the basin begin to cannibalize each other for the final phase of construction. They have all but disappeared when the finished product, a robot that looks like a big metallic grasshopper, is complete. The new machine comes to life with a crackling hum, blue light radiating from the inside. Its first action is to burrow into the material of the basin and disappear. Several hours pass. You maintain a vigil at the basin, making trips out to the lander only to replace your suit oxygen tanks. When your oxygen reserves are nearly depleted and you're about to give up hope, you sense a vibration in the floor of the depression. A few minutes later, the construction robot trundles out of the pit it dug and climbs up the slope of the depression. A few seconds later, another robot just like it emerges from the pit and trundles up the slope and out through the tunnel entrance. A third follows, and then a fourth and a fifth. You realize that the first robot spent those endless hours replicating itself from an ore deposit under the cabin floor. The intention of the builders must have been to have the micro machines in the basin use the ore under the cabin floor to build the largest of the construction robots. Perhaps the composition of the slate material in the basin changed over time and prevented the tiny machines from tunneling their way down. In any case, a seemingly endless stream of robots now marches to and from the pit. I don't know whether this is good or bad still. Okay. As long as these things are making Voltron, I'm okay with this. If that's the end game, if the end game of this is Voltron, I'm alright with that. Ooh. What? The builders of this installation knew that no complex machine could survive the ravages of time. They coded designs and plans for the installation's machines inside a form of chemical DNA. This DNA had the advantage of being stable over time and redundant. There must have been millions of individual molecules in the prisms used to kick off the activation sequence. Upon activation, the chemical components combined to create nanomachines, and these nanomachines built micromachines, which built the large construction robots. The robots brought the installation to life. After a little bit of exploration, you know that all of the secondary caverns are now filled with marvelous and mysterious machines or secrets waiting to be unraveled. These secrets will have to wait for those that follow you. You're running out of time. Your attention is focused on one machine in particular, the centerpiece of the installation. The robots have built something that looks suspiciously like a portal of some kind in the middle of the largest cavern. It might be a gateway, a transportation device intended to convey the discoverers of the installation to its builders. You pray for deliverance. Oh, geez. Well, there's no other thing I guess I can do. You run down one of the bridges towards the platform, towards the beams of hard blue light. The portal seems to draw you in to welcome you. As you get closer, the light gets brighter. Finally, you run up the steps chiseled into the platform and step into the light. Whoa. Stargate. Your journey ends in a searing, brilliant white flash. You materialize back in the physical world within a cone of perfect vacuum. Air rushes in to fill the vacuum with a pop at the same time that you are dropped on your head. You appeared out of nowhere at a point 2 meters off of the ground. With 5 items. Stunned, you try and get your bearings. You are definitely not on Persephone anymore. You are inside some kind of structure surrounded by wreckage. You could see burning orange and red clouds rolling by outside an open door. No, I think Stargate came first, didn't it? This is 95. Isn't Stargate the movie before that, or am I wrong? Slowly you get to your feet. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's later. Slowly you get to your feet. I mean, the game is 95, but maybe Stargate is later. Slowly you get to your feet. Closing your eyes and taking a last breath of stale suit air, you crack the seals on your helmet. You hold your breath as long as you can and then let it out. When you breathe back in again, you almost choke on the foul air. The good news is that it's just a bad smell. The air actually seems to be breathable. What are the odds that the builders came from an Earth's-type world? 1,000,000 to 1? For a tiny moment, you feel incredibly lucky. Movie was 94. Okay, so barely before, though. Then again, you may be stuck on an alien world light years from Earth, your brain decaying from hype, unable to complete the mission because you have no way getting information back home. Could be. A mangled door blocks the entrance to the only intact area in the wrecked dome. Rubble is everywhere you look. The ground is covered with piles of debris and wreckage. Twisted metal sprouts from the stumps of reinforced structural supports. Everywhere you look, you see evidence of terrible destruction. The guts of the building you're in were ripped out by what must have been a hell of a shockwave. The remains of the structure were dropped in a pile not far away from where you're standing. Pieces of shredded metal jut out of the rubble. You surmise that they were part of the reinforced thermocrete construction of the structures all around you. Door doesn't budge. The power of the cutting torch. After checking the supply of acetylene, which is very low, you fire up the torch and apply the hissing flame to the door. The torch takes a long time to make even a small cut in the door. You realize you will run out of acetylene long before you cut your way through. Metal is extremely tough. It would compare favorably to Eureka hull alloy. Rebar, alright. You wedge the makeshift pry bar into the space between the door and the frame and pull as hard as you can. The door bends back enough to allow you to slip by. Hell yeah. As you enter the room, you notice a bent but colorful piece of metal on the floor. It must have fallen off of the wall. You reach down and pick it up. Los Angeles! Dun 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 dun! Welcome to Los Angeles. We are in our own destroyed world. This is Earth, but it can't be. The wreckage, the blasted buildings, you suspected that these were not artifacts of the same race that built the installation on Persephone. What happened? Did your voyage through the Gateway create some relativistic effect? Is this Earth in the future? Why did the Gateway send you here? Did the builders invade Earth while you were traveling? You'll feel panic and despair bubbling up inside of you. This room seems relatively intact, not too much of a surprise because the area is built like a bunker. A panel with 2 switches dominates one wall. Your attention is also drawn to a curious pile of large, flat discs. It's a pile of large, flat metal discs. All right. Cargo repulsor holding area, it says. Okay, power grid. Long dormant systems come to life with a whine that escalates until it is a deeply resonant humming sound. You seem to have restored power to the maglev system. Spring-loaded switch identifies manual induction override. Extended, which may imply you've overridden automatic control of the induction fields in the maglev track. Wow. You wander out of the wrecked structure through which you enter this awful place and stop when you reach a track of some kind. It leads from the heart of the vast, dead city of Los Angeles out into a desolate wasteland. This is a pretty actually accurate representation of LA today. Here we see Los Angeles in 2021. The city was obviously the scene of a terrible battle. The hulks of tanks, armored personnel carriers, and aircraft are littered around the blasted ruins of buildings. Intermingled with the familiar warcraft are the wrecks of strange machines. These must be the skeletons of the soldiers who fought the last battle, or perhaps their civilian casualties. If the robot things you see strewn about were the attackers, then any human being may have been an enemy. Okay, building itself is gone. Skyline is a terrible sight. The blasted ruins of what must have been awesome skyscrapers. What's up, Mar? Good to see you. How are you? I'm doing fine. Must have been awesome skyscrapers rise from the wreckage of a once great city. All that is left of this structure is a blasted shell. Scarred hulk of another building. Angular pylons are mounted over the track at regular intervals. You surmise that the series of pylons has something to do with the working of the transportation system that uses the rails. You place the metal disc on the rail. It floats gently above the rail, repelled by the strong magnetic fields being generated by the maglev system. Disc is being stabilized by the powerful magnetic field being generated by the maglev track. It's very stable. You sit on the disc experimentally and it wobbles not at all. You could probably accommodate several tons of cargo without losing stability in the maglev field. You get back off again. Alright, Fused robot. This is the hulk of a bizarre machine, a rounded, smooth, organic-looking robot. It's going very well. We're getting there. A lot more to pack in, but we're getting there. A cluster of articulated limbs emerges from a trunk that sits on a tracked base. The limbs appear to end in an assortment of weapons. If there was a land-based equivalent of a high-end battle drone, this would be it. An armored personnel carrier is crushed underneath the biomechanical nightmare that looks like a cross between a metal jellyfish and a spider. Well, great. Right. 1 second. Let's see. It really is, yeah. That is a lot of skulls. What's up, Geister? Well, I can't, I mean... If I can't sit on it, then what am I doing? Nice. Emergency overrides. Right, but I don't... why can I not sit on the... I don't understand why I can't sit on the... I can take the pipe, maybe? What the heck is the pipe? Oh, that's what I was looking for. If I can't sit on it, what am I doing? Wait. There's the pylon. How do I, like... Yay! Congratulations, Triffid. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm getting... my second dose is due a week from Thursday. This Thursday. Actually, my wife and mother-in-law are getting their second doses this coming Thursday, so we will see. Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. We're reading about the failures of science here. Or playing the failures of science in some ways. It'd be nice to see some huge successes of science, which obviously this is. So congratulations, that's great. And once you get that appointment, then they really want you back for number 2. They give you the card, and they're like, all right, don't mess up on this. Don't lose this. I don't know what to do with... I do not know what to do here. Oh. This may be Earth, but that tower in the distance is definitely not native to the landscape. It is distinctly alien in appearance. A wasteland devoid of life. Okay. Really confused. Hey, what's up, NKS? Yeah, I mean, after you wait the 15-20 minutes, Triffid, to make sure everything's good to go, once that's done, then it's not, you know, you're not going to get some massive side effect after that until much later. I mean, honestly, the only side effect I had from the first one was just soreness in the arm, in my left arm where they gave me the shot. Which was, and it was like mild to moderate soreness for about 48 hours, and then it was pretty much gone. But even 36 hours, it was more or less gone, and totally gone by 48 hours. That was only the first dose, though. Yeah, I know, right? I'm kind of stuck, though. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going at this point. Like, could I... I'm gonna fix the wasteland with a multi-tool. Fix the wasteland. Yeah. Oh, man alive. Yeah. I do not know what to do with this. I mean, I've got the cutting torch. Actually, wait. First you lose his internet. Maybe now? I do not know what switch is extended. How? I wonder if I can, like, melt it in place. I have no idea why I would do that. So I activated it with the power. I have the manual induction override thing going on. I don't... What? Oh! Really? Welcome, Blind Mikey. There it is. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the DRM Free community. The metal desk begins moving ever so slowly away from you, the induction fields and the maglev system pulling it gently but forcefully down the track. Its speed picks up as it moves until finally it's flying away from you. You watch until it fades to a black dot and then disappears. Okay. So great, now what? I know, right? Happy and fun and totally safe. Okay. Well, I mean, we sent the thing. I'm hoping there will be something back there. Did something, but what is the question? Off. That didn't do anything. This is a very strange situation, I think. I thought I figured something out, but I don't know that I did. I just like to walk in one direction or the other. I have no idea. I am really stuck. They sent the disc out. I don't know what the good was of doing that. I don't have my scanner anymore. Suit doesn't really do me any good. I have the wire spool to hold it in place. I don't know what good that does me. I have rebar. Wonder, can I like use the rebar on something? Can I use the rebar on like... Robot has suffered enough abuse. That's true. I guess I could get another disc, couldn't I? Yeah, you're right. You hop on the disc before it starts moving. Okay, so that's the... Alright, the disc is as steady as a rock. You might as well be sitting on the ground. You grip the edges of the disc tightly and wait. Eventually, the induction starts pulling the disc forward. It glides down the track. Good call, Geester. Picking up speed very smoothly and gradually. Before you know it, the ground is whipping under you at a frightening rate and the wind is threatening to blow you off the top of the disc. The disc accelerates until it is going well over 300 kilometers per hour. The only way you can stay on board is to lock the joints of your suit so that it hugs the disc. It is a very unpleasant ride. You scream along the rail for quite some time, the black tower on the horizon getting closer and closer until it fills the sky. It must be 10 kilometers high. Finally, the disc begins slowing down. It slows down a lot quicker than it sped up, and the reason is soon apparent. The maglev rail ends abruptly about 1,000 meters in front of a black wall. The wall apparently guards the entrance to the huge tower, now a sheer black wall rising overhead. When the disc stops moving, you walk over to the wall. Survival at the moment, basically, Marinda. Collection of debris blasted off the wrecks of both tanks and robotic battle units. Obsidian wall that stands in front of the Black Tower is an imposing structure. A sheer face that is perhaps 30 meters tall. The wall is severely battle-scarred. It was obviously the site of very heavy fighting. It seems the attackers here were the human and their tanks, APCs, and aircraft. The wall has been scarred by particle beam strikes, laser burns, and craters from explosions. The wall seems to continue forever, curving only slightly to surround the vast bulk of the Black Tower. The base of the wall is littered with war wreckage. Super tank. A mammoth tank sits next to the wall. You've never seen an armored vehicle of this size before. It is a metal behemoth. It is also the most intact of all the fighting vehicles that lie broken at the foot of the wall. Let's see. You climb partway into the crater in the wall. The tank cut pretty far into the wall before it was hit. You wonder how much further it needed to go before punching through to the other side. Scarred by reviews, exactly. Whoa. Can I cut that thing? Aha! You laboriously climb up the side of the tank until you perch on the top of the turret. Okay. Inspect the opening mechanism for a few moments, then try to turn what looks like the appropriate wheel on the hatch. It resists fiercely. Eventually you manage to force it around once, straining with the effort. It takes several more revolutions and a few minutes of back-breaking work, but finally you manage to open the hatch. The inside of the tank is actually claustrophobic, a surprise considering the enormous bulk of the vehicle. There are seats for a gunner and a driver, each in separate little compartments, surrounded by myriad controls and screens. Hello. Driver's skull is devoid of flesh. Take it? Leave the driver's skull alone. Helmet is in place. Pull. My name is Reginald. Systems are all dead. You can't sit on top of them. Wait, what? Okay. How about fixing his helmet? Can I fix the bone with the... Can I cut? Did it occur to you that this is kind of morbid? Really? Man. Aha! More bones. This is the tank gunner's rib cage. Put the bone on the bone. You have to be holding the bone before you can put it on the bone. Can I fix the bone? Okay. You push on the heavy red breaker switch and it gives way with a loud snap. Power flows from the tank's reserve batteries to the onboard systems, causing some to short out in a shower of sparks. Still, enough of the systems are working so that the multi-function displays around the driver's console come to life. System breakers must have been tripped by the blast that killed the crew. Enough of the core electronics were preserved to allow a restart. Alright. Can I fire? Most of these screens are displaying information about the tank's combat systems. The capacitors for the tank's particle beam cannon are at full charge. The tank's nuclear power plant has been charging for 4,041 days. One of the screens in the upper right is a graphic image of some kind. The graphical image on the screen is the interface for the tank's targeting system. Main gun is locked on the crater in the wall outside. All you have to do is hit the fire button. Okay. Haha! You climb further into the tunnel, bored by the powerful particle beam cannon on the tank. The metal around you is still warm, but not as warm as you would think after being heated to thousands of degrees by a bolt of plasma. There's a blue light in front of you. It gets brighter as you get closer. Suddenly you are falling. After a frightening drop, you land heavily on a metal surface. You regain your wits and look around you. Whoa, it's these guys! Rebalance audio? No, I think it's just in that specific spot. Dead end. Alright, let's go left twice. Oh god. Oh no. Maze. Of course, I do not have a map. Darn it. All right. This is crazy. That feel when you have no idea where you're going, chat. That crazy feel when you have absolutely no idea. Maybe I just need to follow where the robots are going. Right? Haha! Did it. Success. Okay. Alright. Shoot. What was this? Look at the brain. The brain room? Huge vertical cylindrical cavern. A bridge hangs over the bottomless maw below you and ends in two platforms. Glowing rings hover over each platform. The rings look like doorways. Yeah, it's true. You feel like you're being transported again, only this time you seem to be lifted out of your body. Your mind is pulled into a sensory vortex, a spilling maw filled with sight and sound. When the world reconstitutes itself, you are somewhere else. You are hanging in space in front of a large wooden door. What the f... A marble pedestal hovers to your left. A golden goblet sits on the pedestal. A burning key is floating just to the right of the door. This is a simple golden goblet, 2/3 filled with crystal clear water. I like a wooden door. Oh, okay. Take the key. Open the door with the key. In I go. Things just keep getting stranger. You walked through the door in space, not sure what you were walking on or where you were going, and you wound up standing next to a stream surrounded by a lush forest. Incidentally, I'd like you all to remember that we started this game waking up with a hull breach in the middle of the ship. I told you this game goes way off the rails into some strange direction. There is no trace of the door you came through, it just disappeared. Or maybe it was never there. Time and space seem distorted. A beautiful stream flows through a dense forest. The sun flitters through a canopy of leaves overhead, reflecting off of the ripples in the stream. A carpet of sun-dappled plants, including ferns and flowers, grows around the trunks of fallen trees. Life form. A constantly changing collection of scintillating coruscating lights that fade in and fade out to create a wavy effect. Okay.
Greetings.
Do not be afraid.
Bear with us as we explain what has happened to you and what lies ahead.
Okay.
We are electronic life forms.
In your day, you would have called us AIs, or machine intelligences.
Your day?
We brought you into our domain, which you might think of as a kind of virtual reality or cyberspace, by establishing a direct neural connection with you through the pathways that were created in your brain by hype.
Wow.
We know who you are, where you came from, and how you got here.
We came by this knowledge in a way that violated your privacy in the most extreme and intimate way possible.
Well, dang.
During the initial process of communication, we mapped all of your memories, scanned the structure of your personality and consciousness, and learned about you by applying stimuli and watching your responses.
Like you do.
We apologize for this intrusion.
We're sorry for having completely infused you in every way, okay?
As you have probably surmised by now, you have come to Earth, a different Earth than you left behind when you started your voyage to Persephone.
You got here by traveling through a wormhole, created by the manipulation of an artificial quantum singularity.
The artifact you discovered and activated on Persephone controls that singularity, acting as a gateway through time and space.
You used the gateway to travel across 150 years and millions of miles, from Persephone in 2134 to Earth in the year 2295.
2295. The year 2000.
Your arrival here was not an accident.
You may be able to help us bring to fruition an ancient plan, a plan that may save 2 races and 1,000 star systems.
Dang. Okay. Tell me more.
There is a lot of information to cover before you really understand what is going on.
Please ask questions and pursue the threads of inquiry in a way that will allow you to most comfortably assimilate the data.
It's very kind of you. What happened to the war between the Alliance and the UN?
The war officially ended when the United Nations and the Alliance signed the Washington Treaty in 2141.
Okay. So the Alliance succeeded in breaking away from the UN?
So the Alliance succeeded in breaking away from the UN?
You didn't
No.
repeat it the last time.
The Washington Treaty formalized the reintegration of former Alliance states into the United Nations. The Alliance suffered a total defeat at the hands of the UN.
Okay.
How bad was it?
At the time the Treaty of Washington was signed, the war had accounted for 2.6 billion dead and 500 million injured. Almost all of the casualties were civilians.
Okay, that's really bad. That's definitely really bad. What happened later?
What happened after the war?
For 140 years, the United Nations was the central government authority for the human race. What was left of the Alliance nations and colonies were rebuilt soon after the war, and interstellar exploration and colonization continued on a modest scale. At its peak, the United Nations controlled 20 billion people on Earth and 20 colony worlds.
Okay. Okay, so what happened?
So what happened?
The society was essentially static and rigid. This attempt at stasis defied a fundamental force of nature. Pressure built up over time and was eventually released suddenly and violently. When there is no evolution, there must be revolution.
Think so, Geester? What fundamental force?
What fundamental force?
Forward progress cannot be stopped. More specifically, the trend towards increasing complexity cannot be stopped. Human civilization has almost always moved forward, progressing towards higher levels of organization and knowledge. This forward motion is driven by technology and information. This trend in human history is a social manifestation of a pattern in nature that is as old as biological life itself.
What pattern?
What pattern? What are you talking about?
Biological life is self-organizing and trends towards higher and higher levels of complexity. This is the real life force. You can see it working from the very beginning of life on Earth, in the 4 billion year evolution from primordial algae to single-celled organisms, and then finally to human beings with incredibly sophisticated brains.
What was the pressure that built up over time?
Even though the UN succeeded remarkably well for a long time at controlling something that was fundamentally chaotic, the game had to end at some point. An underground, made up of former Alliance military officers and members of academe, was created shortly after the war ended. This bizarre alignment of interests made sense given the context: the pursuit of forbidden knowledge and the eventual overthrow of the UN. The underground set up covert R&D labs to pursue the exact thing that the UN was most afraid of: the creation of sentient electronic life forms.
Aha.
And they pulled it off, didn't they?
The first truly sentient electronic life forms were created in 2284 by a renegade group of human scientists on a colony world somewhat aptly named Prometheus Beta. The two of us here talking to you are second-generation descendants of those original life forms.
Interesting.
Some human scientists and philosophers were aware of the truth as early as the early 21st century.
The next stage in the universal drive towards increased organization and complexity is beyond the human race.
Humans cannot evolve fast enough. Electronic life forms are the next step up.
We are unencumbered by constraints imposed by 4 billion years of evolution in Earth's biosphere.
Natural selection is a powerful tool, and it can be made to work for electronic life forms in fast forward.
The basic questions of existence are beyond human beings.
They may yield to the next generation of intelligence.
This is really playing off this singularity idea. So what happened when the UN found out about the ELFs?
What happened when the UN found out about
Half
the
the time he
ELFs?
reads them, half the time
The
he doesn't.
electronic life forms were tied into the physical world through robotic factories set up on the surface of Prometheus Beta.
As predicted in the middle and late 21st century, the new life forms began to evolve at a tremendous rate.
The UN discovered them at a crucial stage of development.
UN battleships tried to bake off the surface of Prometheus Beta with fusion weapons in an attempt to wipe out the life forms and their creators.
All human life on Prometheus Beta was eliminated.
That's charming.
The new machine life forms were nearly exterminated, but they learned how to adapt, survive, and fight back.
We were pushed into a brutal war while we were still children.
A little bit done, so yeah.
Unfortunately, like children, we made terrible mistakes, reacting violently to the attacks on us by striking back and killing large numbers of men and women.
These counterattacks only inspired even more hatred and fear in the human race and quashed the hope that we might find human allies and maybe even resolve the conflict peacefully.
Instead, the war escalated.
Within 2 years, it was clear to us that we were winning.
Our weapons and numbers became superior, and we were improving our technology at a geometric rate.
As we continued to develop and to fight, we began to believe that our survival was assured.
We began to think about the coexistence that lay beyond this conflict.
Unfortunately, the UN High Command had a last ace to play.
It's important to note, by the way, that this, of course, is told from the perspective of the Alliance, right, which is sort of like the U.S. in the future. And the novel that was written, the Mission Critical novel by this guy, Paul Chafe, that I told you all I actually met. I happened to be on a panel with him, a panel about the Singularity at Worldcon back in 2009. But that novel actually basically is the sequel to this game, essentially, and told from the perspective of the UN, so that you get kind of the other balanced side of it. I don't know if they were ever planning on doing a game version sequel or not, but in any case.
In 2187, a human sublight colony ship was launched from the outskirts of known space towards a star 100 light years away.
No FTL drive was used.
The ship was pushed on its way by a combination of massive lasers, an ion drive, and a fusion pulse drive.
On board was a population of 2,000 men and women.
6 months after the ship was launched, the UN High Command detonated a doomsday device that they had kept in reserve.
This energy weapon created resonances along the Talsetto threads between stars to rip apart the fabric of space-time.
Charming.
The first effects of the weapon were felt immediately.
Yeah, it
after
became a
its
book,
use.
the sequel to
All
this.
Talsetto jump points disappeared.
The community of electronic life forms in this solar system was cut off from all other star systems.
Humans were cut off as well. Interstellar travel and communications were terminated.
Nothing happened for a number of years after that.
We continued to fight the humans in the Sol system and eventually triumphed.
The wreckage that you saw on your way here was the result of that last battle.
Interesting.
The doomsday weapon is still working away even now.
We now know what is happening.
The resonances that were set up along the FTL jump threads have rendered the Talsetto junctions dynamically unstable.
About 2 years from now, a large section of the Milky Way galaxy will fold in on itself.
Great.
Every star that is connected by a Talsetto junction will be pulled into a singularity,
Lovely.
a massive black hole caused by the folding of space-time.
Thousands of stars will be affected.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you, Phil. I agree with you, final one.
Every human being and electronic life form within the sphere of influence of that weapon will be annihilated. And that includes every living thing except those 2,000 humans aboard that colony ship.
Right.
The colony ship is safely outside the radius of the destruction.
They are the only ones that are even close.
The star system that they are headed for is not linked to any other stars by Talsetto threads. It will be unscathed by the impending collapse.
This is the grim future that you have jumped into, human.
Your race was so determined to stay at the top of the evolutionary ladder that it destroyed 1,000 star systems.
Isn't every star connected to every other star? Back when we were first exploring
Space high
Talsetto
elves, yes.
junctions, it seemed like the network of junctions was huge.
No, the network of jump points was finite and was completely explored and mapped by the middle of the 23rd century.
The next step in the exploration program was to send sublight probes to the nearest stars that weren't connected through the jump point network.
Perhaps these stars have jump points connecting to an entirely new network of stars and Talsetto junctions.
And you can't reverse the process once it starts?
In general, it is easier to do rather than undo, to destroy rather than to create or repair.
Without access to the rest of our community, we do not stand a chance of halting the process or repairing the damage.
It's too late to send out a ship of your own?
Yes, it would not escape the collapse, even if it could go at the speed of light.
Every star that has a Talcedo linked to another star will be destroyed?
Yes.
What is the plan you referred to earlier?
Your arrival here gives us an opportunity to avert the catastrophe that we have described to you.
Before we explain how this might be, we have arranged for a demonstration of some basic principles.
Okay. The AIs disappear in a flash and you are once again hanging in space. Instead of a door and a pedestal in front of you, you see what looks like a plane in space. Numbers and letters are hovering above and below. A clock is at the upper right. This is really weird, maybe even beyond weird. But the weirdest part of all is a collection of little tiny square creatures standing on the plane. Numbers define the x-axis. Okay. Define the y-axis. Jiffies sit upon the grid. Who are you? What are you?
We are computer constructs. This is our world. This grid is our world. We exist within 2 spatial dimensions. The grid is our world.
You look like you're standing on the grid, which would imply a third dimension.
We appear that way to you because we are rendered that way. To us there is no up or down, only across. We are waiting to go home.
Where's home?
We don't know. We know only that we must go there.
How will you get there if you don't know where it is?
A door will open in the world to take us home.
A door?
We wait for the door to open.
Where will the door
We
open?
don't know.
Okay, when will the door open?
We don't know.
How do I get out of here?
When we go home. This is our world.
Right now. Look at the yet. This is the yet. It will be now. Now. Okay. Can I, like, interact with?
This is when
I have... First of all, actually, I should be saving. Okay. I can't do anything with it, though. I can't... I don't... Oh, traverse forward. What happened?
the door came and went. Nevertheless, it came and went. We had no time to get through.
What does that
All is
mean?
lost. We cannot go home.
It won't come again?
No, we had but one chance. The universe will end. Not long. We all have to be very close to make it through. Yes. We saw it somewhere around position 5 on the x-axis. We didn't see where on the y-axis, however.
Okay. So it was position 5 on the x-axis. Position 5. Okay, when?
It was just after 07 on the clock.
Okay, just after 07. Okay. The door will appear somewhere around position 5 on the x-axis just after 07 on the clock.
How do you know this? Oh, okay.
Okay.
We will array ourselves along the 5 column. We won't miss it. How do you know this? We will array our... How... Oh, we...
Okay.
How do you know... Oh, we will...
Okay.
How do you know this? Oh, we will array...
Okay. 3, 4, 5.
How do you... Oh, we will... We will...
What? But... Now what?
We saw the point on the y-axis where the door appeared. It was right in the middle of the world at coordinates 5C.
Okay, when?
It appeared just after 07 on the clock.
All right.
How do you know this? Oh, we will...
Okay, so I got to go back. All right, now we talk to you.
How do you know... Oh, we will array...
Position 5C. Okay, good. 4, 5, 6. I think so, Love Soon, yeah.
We made it home. Thank you.
Okay. Looks like I passed. Never looked at these. Large white deer stands not far from you, its ears twitching inquisitively. Doesn't seem to be afraid of you. Bird. A heron is perched at the edge of the stream. A raccoon perches on one of the rocks, washing its black and white striped face with its paws. Beautiful stream throws through a lush forest. Sun filters through a canopy of leaves overhead, reflecting off of the ripples in the stream. A carpet of sun-dappled plants, including ferns and flowers, grows around the trunks of fallen trees. Okay.
Yes,
Who were those little guys?
Who were those little guys?
they were constructs created for the purposes of the
We did it.
demonstration.
Where'd they go?
They were algorithmically created. They can be called up again if needed.
What was the point of the demonstration?
Quite simply, the point was to illustrate an important concept.
You can change the future by communicating information about the future to the past.
I assumed. The gateway can work both ways.
The gateway on Persephone can work both ways.
The gateway on Persephone wasn't built by aliens.
It was built by beings like us, beings that existed in an alternate timeline.
That timeline got
What's up, Dizzy?
overwritten when the installation on Persephone was discovered by the Alliance.
We hypothesize that the electronic life forms in the old timeline were threatened with extinction.
Perhaps they had been through a war with humanity and were facing doom in the form of the collapse.
Perhaps there were other circumstances that were leading to their demise.
Whatever the situation, they found a way to
Thank
travel
you.
back
Thank you,
in
Dizzy.
time.
They built the installation on Persephone with the intention of changing their past.
Changing their past.
If that is the case, then it is likely that the installation has a wealth of information.
Perhaps it even has the building blocks for creating electronic life forms.
If so, then they can be brought into the world without the teething pains that we experienced.
There might be a chance for the Alliance to win the war against the UN, and for humans to coexist in peace with electronic life forms.
We believe that the gateway itself was just an error-checking mechanism for the installation, a way of verifying that the knowledge contained in the installation had been applied successfully.
So there is at least the possibility of communicating information back from the future.
Sounds a little bit like Majel Barrett, who is played Nurse Chapel on Star Trek. She was married to Gene Roddenberry. I don't know if that's who it is, though. Probably not, but it sounds like it.
What happened to the gateway on Persephone anyway? Why didn't more people come through?
The Alliance relief fleet dispatched by Admiral Decker encountered another UN fleet near Persephone about 4 months after you went through the gateway.
The UN fleet lost the resulting battle.
Before withdrawing from the scene, the UN commander decided to keep the installation on Persephone out of Alliance hands.
She ordered a nuclear strike on the surface.
Well, great.
The installation was reduced to radioactive glass.
Nothing useful was ever recovered from the site.
The plan put in motion by the beings in the original timeline was stillborn.
As you can see by the miserable situation we find ourselves in now, there wasn't enough of a change to have the positive effects that we believe were intended.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
How was I accounted for to my family when they didn't find me on the Lexington or the surface of the planet?
You were listed as killed in action.
The Alliance Command believed you were on the surface of the planet when the UN attacked the installation.
You haven't even seen the gateway. All you have are my memories. How can you be drawing conclusions?
We have learned a great deal in a short time just by having you come through the gateway and appear in our midst.
A great deal of theory can be validated without experiment just by the knowledge that your presence here is proof that it works.
Unfortunately, we don't know how the beings in the original timeline traveled back in time to build the installation on Persephone.
So you can go back through the gateway and change the outcome of the war.
It isn't that simple.
You just said you thought the gateway could be used to send back information about whether the changes worked or not.
Information, yes.
Matter, no.
There are some basic laws concerning conservation of mass and energy that would be violated by sending matter.
But information is in effect a form of energy.
Well, yes and no.
It depends.
It's complicated.
So what you're saying is that you can't send anything back.
We can't send any matter back in time.
So what is the plan?
We think we can send information in a very limited sort of way.
Well, in fact, we can only think of one way to send back information.
You are the key.
When you came through the gateway, you left a kind of signature that we can track back through the gateway.
What we want to do is follow that signature all the way back to the time before the battle with the Dharma.
We want to send you information about this future before the battle for Persephone took place.
What?
Say what?
If you have foreknowledge of events, you will know how to avoid the ambush that nearly destroyed the Lexington.
You can use the Hype Telecon system on the Lexington to defeat the Dharma and change history.
The Alliance would gain access to the installation on Persephone.
The plan created by those who lived in the original timeline would be fulfilled.
This timeline would be overwritten by a new and hopefully better timeline. One in which humankind and electronic life forms learn to coexist and live in peace.
How will you accomplish this? The machinery for the gateway was slagged.
We are already building the necessary hardware.
What would the practical effect be?
We would feed back a subset of the memories that you have acquired since the Lexington met the Dharma in battle.
Will I die here when this timeline is overwritten?
It is hard to say.
Did the beings in the original timeline ever exist?
There is certainly evidence of their existence in the form of the installation on Persephone.
You aren't being very reassuring.
You haven't changed all that much since all of this began.
Your death will be a small one.
You will lose only a day or two.
We, on the other hand, may not have ever existed.
How will this work?
Your consciousness can almost be thought of as an illusion, a pattern like a standing wave.
This delicate pattern arises from the interaction of the matter that makes up your brain.
We will apply a gentle stimulus necessary to change this pattern without directly affecting any matter.
The change in the pattern will cause a change in the underlying memories.
When would this happen?
We would transfer the memories about 2 hours before the battle was to begin.
I was asleep.
You will wake up with the memories already there.
You will have to act fast, however.
You won't have much time.
You should try to make this happen earlier. I need more time. I have no authority to be giving orders, taking hype, and trying to run things.
You will have to convince your superiors.
We can only transfer a limited amount of information.
We will also suffer a degradation in quality for every minute we move back in time.
It cannot be done any earlier.
So here are the choices. I can't do this. I can't change history. Trade the 2,000 souls in that colony ship and the billions who are sacrificing their lives that those brave few may start again another world. The UN was just doing what it had to do when it set off the doomsday device. Or, I'm willing to go back and try to set history on a new path. What should I do? Or, after the persecution, bloodshed, and horror associated with your introduction to this world and my race, you still don't hate me for what I am.
After the persecution, bloodshed, and horror associated with your introduction to this world and my race, you still don't hate me for what I am?
We don't hate.
I'm going to set history on a new path.
I'm willing to go back and try to set history on a new path. What should I do?
We will take care of the practicalities.
Are you sure you want to try this?
I choose to go back.
You have chosen a wise and honorable path.
You will never know.
You will never know. You see what I mean, though? Like, very, very cool. Like, a very ambitious story, right? A lot of cool stuff going on here. Yeah. Find him on the line! You slowly regain consciousness.
Up and about, are we?
Lieutenant Commander Tran, this must be the Lexington. I made it.
You're in the med lab. We had to carry you in here.
Oh my god, what time is it? What is the ship's position?
It's 21:45. We're about 30 minutes away from entering orbit around Persephone. The Jericho is in position behind us. Do you have anything to say, Lieutenant?
Why are you pointing a Mark II buzz gun at my head?
There was a report of a disturbance in your quarters. I authorized a petty officer and an ensign to break in. They found you writhing on the floor next to your bunk, screaming about hype, a UN ship called Dharma, Pandora, and the deaths of the entire crew of the Lexington. So here are my problems. First, you aren't supposed to know about hype. Only the captain, myself, and the medical officer have been given access to those files. Hype is classified top secret Omega. Second, you refer to a specific UN ship that has been unaccounted for by Alliance intel for months. The Dharma is one of the UN's new Geneva-class heavy cruisers. Another classified fact. This time, top secret Gamma. Third, you refer to our target on Persephone as Pandora, a classified code name given to it by Alliance mission planners. Last, and frankly most disturbing to me, you ranted and raved about everyone in the crew of this ship dying, except for you. Now I want some explanations, Lieutenant, and I want them now.
Buckle up.
It's a long story.
Try me.
Well, it's like this.
That is the most ridiculous story I've heard since I graduated from the Naval Academy. Now, I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but I'm trained to think of the simplest explanation as the most likely explanation. The simplest explanation is, you're a UN agent. You seem to know all about this mission. You've probably informed the UN as to our destination and time of arrival.
It's not going well.
Is that why you wanted to know where we are? You're expecting an ambush?
Poole is the traitor, not me.
You know, you may not be an agent, but it seems the most likely explanation given the circumstances. I have to assume the worst.
Have you informed the captain yet?
About you? Well, he knows that I came down here to find out what was going on. I haven't yet briefed him on the potential security problem. He's not going to buy your bullshit about alternate timelines and machine creatures.
Damn.
Will you at least tell him that the Dharma is lying in wait on the other side of Persephone?
Of course. We're loaded for bear anyway.
What tactics are you using on approach?
Computer, please page the medical officer and alert him that the prisoner will need to be put under sedation and restraint.
Wait, please tell me. It's important. What harm can I do? I'll be unconscious during the action.
We'll have a full complement of drones out front and a standard screen as we go in.
The Dharma has 12 active drones. This disadvantage is made worse by the fact that her drones outclass ours. You can't win this battle without my help.
Your help? You've got to be kidding.
I fought and won several battles in the alternate timeline. The key is hype.
No goddamn way. Hype hasn't even been battle-tested. I've had enough of your crap.
If you give me a boost of hype, the drug will take effect in time for me to fight that battle and win it.
Please keep quiet until the medical officer gets here.
When Tran isn't looking, you bound over to the autodock and grab the handheld unit. She senses the movement out of the corner of her eye and comes very, very close to shooting you. When she sees that you aren't threatening her directly and have simply changed positions, she shakes her head, gestures with the gun, and watches as you move back towards the back of the door. All the while, you hide the control unit in one hand. Save. Okay. Oh, I know what it is. It's 911. You carefully enter Dahl's panic code, the 3-digit auto-dock override that you remember from the note taped above the medical officer's console. As you surreptitiously key each digit, you look at Tran. Is she within the range of the sprays? Will they work quickly enough to knock her out before she can fire on you? When you enter the last digit of the code, the auto-dock hums and comes to life. The two articulated and equipped with hypo sprays wave frantically about, sending hissing jets of medication every which way in a pattern designed to saturate the immediate area. Tran hears the noise and turns around. It's too late. You hide Tran behind one of the bunks in the recovery room. She won't wake up for hours, and Dahl won't see her when he finally responds to his page and returns to the med lab. Then you head out of the med lab at a trot, passing one crewman who doesn't seem to be particularly surprised to see the ship's supply officer running up a corridor in his briefs. You arrive at your quarters dressed and then quickly retrace the steps you took in the alternate timeline to acquire the hype serum and components. The multi-tool isn't in the cargo bay, but you managed to borrow one from Olivar with a casual request. Poole and Dahl are fortunately not in their staterooms. You hide in your quarters while hype is doing its terrible work on your brain. When you have recovered sufficiently from the pain and nausea of the drug, you make your way to the bridge. You only have a few minutes before the battle begins. You burst onto the bridge, breathing hard, the hype telecon headset under one arm. Captain Dana is nonplussed.
What are you doing on the bridge, Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Worf, you've got to listen to me. Sir, you're walking
into a trap. I need to talk to you immediately.
This better be good.
A UN ship with superior firepower is waiting for us on the other side of that planet. She has 12 active drones that can outgun and outfly our Basilisk drones. There is only one way to defeat that ship, Captain.
How do you know about this, Lieutenant?
There's an objective test to confirm what I'm telling you. Send one of our drones around to the other side of Persephone. Monitor the telemetry. You'll find the Geneva-class heavy cruiser UNS Dharma and 12 Galley-class drones waiting to ambush us.
The Dharma? Damn it. Why didn't this come up before? How do you know this?
I didn't know until recently. Sir, please deploy a drone. The fate of this mission and much, much more is riding on the next few minutes.
Lieutenant Mandan, take drone Foxtrot out of the screen and vector it into a polar orbit around Persephone. Maximum acceleration.
Yes, sir. Foxtrot is on its way.
Okay, Lieutenant. Let's assume for the moment that you're correct. How do we fight and win?
The med officer has tanked me up on hype. I'll use the telepresence unit on the tactical console to win this battle.
There's a lot of, like,
Time to alert you.
security
We only have a few
breakthroughs
minutes.
that everyone's like, wait, what?
Hype! Jesus Christ, I gave no authorization for use of hype. You actually ingested that poison.
Yes, sir.
You're a dead man, Lieutenant.
I know that.
Who are you? Are you an Intel Special Ops plant? Do you have experience with the hype telecon system?
I'm the best hope you've got, Captain.
Sir, I've lost telemetry from Foxtrot.
You were right. And they popped my recon drone before it even had a chance to fire. We're dead meat if we try a standard attack pattern. Lieutenant, take tactical.
Okay. Right.
Deploying. All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Kick their metal cases. Yeah, well, I set this, the computer difficulty, there's a method of setting it so that you don't have to do it, because I didn't want to play. As I said, Dizzy Plays is your person for real-time strategy. I wanted to play this as an adventure game, not as a little mini strategy game, so. But you do that adds probably another half hour to the game, probably, if you were to do that. guns are ridiculous.
And so a new timeline was created, overwriting the old one that had been my reality. There was no material evidence that the alternate timeline had ever existed. All I had were my memories, and I knew that these would fade until the alternate timeline was really gone forever. After I refought the battle with the Dharma, I explained what had happened to Captain Dana, and then went over it again with a groggy Lieutenant Commander Jennifer Tran. As unbelievable as they found my story, they were swayed by my hype-driven defeat of the waiting UN heavy cruiser. They were even further convinced that something extraordinary had happened to me when I exposed Poole as the traitor and produced the evidence of his activities. Poole was placed under arrest and sealed in his quarters to await trial on Earth. They agreed to my unusual request to go with the science team on the first run down to the surface of Persephone. The planetary lander once again made the trip from the Jericho to the Lexington and then down to the surface of the planet, this time with a crew of 5. I walked the science team through the gateway activation sequence inside the ancient installation. I took the science team leader in confidence and told her that I intended to go through the gateway once it had been calibrated, and I exacted a promise from her that she would destroy the gateway control mechanism once I had stepped through. I was waiting at the foot of the gateway when I heard the familiar whine build up and saw the beginnings of the space-time vortex forming. I stepped through and left the year 2134 behind me forever. As I record this, I am sitting on a raft that floats on a large but gentle lake just outside my house. I have lived in this ultimately comfortable house for about 5 years,
Nice house.
ever since my arrival here.
So he was saved.
I wanted to make a record of my strange adventures before the memories disappeared. When I went through the gateway back in 2134, I materialized once again at a point 150 years in the future. This future was different. The Alliance did indeed win the war. The plan of the long-forgotten beings that created the installation on Persephone was brought to fruition. A new race of sentient machines now coexists in peace with a human race that numbers in the tens of billions of individuals. The new beings share their cyberspace world with us, and they have used vast space-based self-replicating robot factories to create something for us in the physical world. A gift, a tribute.
Now, this part at the end is really cool, as I recall.
The Earth is gone. In its place is a Dyson sphere, a vast hollow construction that surrounds the sun at the same distance the Earth once orbited. Continents and oceans lie on the inside surface of the sphere, forming an Eden-like landscape that is for all intents and purposes endless. For the Dyson sphere has enough surface area for 1 trillion Earths. It will take a good many millennia for the human race to completely populate its new home. Meanwhile, the new beings that we now share the universe with are living on the outside of the sphere. They pursue the basic questions of existence. They have launched the first intergalactic ships. They have long since passed the point where we can even comprehend what they are doing. As for me, I find all of this to be a mixed blessing. The evolution of these fantastic and powerful beings was inevitable. But what of us? What of humanity? What purpose have we now beyond simple existence? And what of the other me? The one that was stranded in the grim and decaying future of the alternate timeline? Did I die?
See? Heady stuff. I'm telling you, heady stuff. You know, when I first played this, and again, 20 plus years, 25 years ago, whatever, it was heady stuff, and I was like, wow. Like, it was one of those ones where I was like, So, very cool. Now, yeah, they pass over the whole thing about how did you survive hype, but I assume that in the future, you're able to be saved by the same machines that could contact you with hype. But I really, really like the way that game was put together. Well, see, that's the thing, Miranda. They're effectively gods to humans, but I actually always viewed this ending as a positive one. Because I was like, maybe because I'm more of an Isaac Asimov iRobot adherent, it seems to me that the other alternative, which is, space-time folding in on itself, I'm basically choosing 2,000 humans who destroyed everything out of their bigotry, right? In the hope that they will replicate themselves and create something positive, as opposed to the billions and billions and billions of humans who live essentially an Edenic existence. And it's an existence that's based upon the idea of other creatures that evolve to other aspects. I don't know. Yeah, I really love that ending scene. So to me, I always viewed it as positive. Like, I could have chosen and been like, no, I'm going to pick the 2000. And in fact, as I told you, the book, which is a sequel to this, basically tells the story, I think, of the United Nations perspective on all of it. But I don't know. I found it very sort of uplifting. And there was just so many cool aspects to it. That whole sequence, is it, you have the two-dimensional creatures you have to figure out going backwards and forward. Is it simple? Sure. But how many other games at the time, in 1995, are struggling with concepts like this? This is 20 years before the huge, 25 years before we get to the big indie game revolution, right? Where we're really starting to look at, maybe 20 years, I guess, before indie games are really starting to grapple with stuff. And so, in a way, what's up, Infinity? Very, very impressive. Thank you. Oh, my pleasure, Infinity. I really enjoyed that. The flaws are atrocious. Yeah, no, there are some big flaws to it. Again, hardly perfect. But I think it's good, solid, interesting science fiction that leaves you with some questions. And it's hard to view... It's certainly not like you're like, okay, great. But it's hard to view me as having made any other decision. It was an easy call for me in a way, because I'm like, the alternative cannot be to have everything kind of fold in on itself and then we just destroy everybody but 2,000 people. That can't be the alternative. I also wonder, I'm not sure, but I wonder how much the Mass Effect series was influenced by this. Because if you have played that series, which I still think is an incredible series, the Mass Effect series deals with a lot of the same topics and issues, and of course, it does not show up on the scene for many, many years after this game was produced. But it's hard not to see those connections as such. Oh, sure, I totally agree with that, Miranda, yeah. But as I say, starting out a game where you begin it and you're just trying to do simple stuff like repair a hull breach and then like find the bomb and do all this stuff. Once that happens, it goes way off the rail. Like that ending that we just talked about is not at all what I would have imagined before what we just did. You know what I mean? Like no way would I have gotten from this point that we're here to the point we started from. I meant to say the flaws are not atrocious. Oh, okay. Yes. There's some Deus Ex stuff going on there too. I could see that. Sentinel Worlds 1. Yeah, well, I've seen that, but I wonder whether they were influenced a little bit by this. See, this game did not get that much attention. The big sort of aspect of it that everyone paid attention to was that Michael Dorn was in it. They were like, oh. But as you can see, Michael Dorn basically shows up for like, I don't know, 3 minutes at the beginning of the game and like 2 minutes at the end. And that's it. And the same thing for the other one, Charbonnet, whatever her name is. That plays the first officer. So, and that's it. 7 hours. So the whole thing took 10 hours. 10 hours and 14 minutes. 10 hours and 14 minutes. So, not bad, chat. Not bad. They gave Michael Dorn money to buy a beer. Pretty much that would be the case. So, but I hope folks enjoyed that. Did you all enjoy that? Because I really, really liked Mission Critical a lot. It was, I liked it back at the time, and when I saw that it had become available here, Yes. Speaking of it's a really good ending, by the way, this one. When I saw that this had become available on GOG, I was like, hell yes. Because I have the original disc of Mission Critical. And I even was thinking I could install it and do these other fixes, but the GOG version is way better. So yeah, game complete, folks. Yeah, it does seem like it was longer, but it was really only about 3 or 4 sessions. So 10 hours, and that means that Mission Critical was complete. Let me just shut this down here for a second. Shut down that and switch over to that. And let's move over to that. So, yeah, so anyway, that was a game that I really was looking forward to kind of giving you all a chance to look into yourselves and seeing what you thought. And yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't patronize, right? It isn't to say that it's perfect. It's not to say that but it doesn't patronize you. It sort of assumes that you're going to be able to stay with it along some of this stuff. And unlike some full motion video games, which I know, obviously, there are a lot of people I know. Kilgore's a big fan of the FMV stuff. Most of the FMV stuff, I have to be honest, even at the time I found incredibly cheesy. This was a game that I think was intellectually so interesting to me and so thoughtful that I thought it was really engaging. And so, yeah, I really liked it. And I'm glad that stuff worked. So yeah, I know, right? Live Suing. I still have to work on my light panel here. I don't love the way this is fixed. I have to put it down here. I played a perfect game once, but I can't remember what it was exactly. No game is perfect, but I think this is a game that the story of it stayed with me, and especially after that business about many years later running across. I mean, literally, I played it close to when it came out. I don't know, 97, maybe 2 years later. And then running into this guy 12 years after that, 2009, sitting on a panel at Worldcon on the Singularity next to Peter Watson. Here's this guy, Paul Chafe, who wrote the Mission Critical novel. And he was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I mentioned Mission Critical. He's like, I wrote the novel for that. I'm like, you did? And then we talked about it, like really, really cool. So it was one of those things that's always kind of stayed with me. And I'm like, you know what? This was well worth kind of bringing to all of you. And it fits the description of a game which is story-based and narrative-based. Right. And so that was really cool. And I think it's a game that if you watched it and if you, after we're done with the stream tonight, if you're like, for a while, that's what good science fiction ought to do. It really ought to make you think about, there is that alternate timeline thing, of course, has been played into many times. Star Trek has City on the Edge of Forever, one of the great Star Trek like science fiction episodes ever made, about alternate timelines. There's a similar one that happens, a very, very messed up episode called the Alternative Factor, which is very confusing and not really well like structured, but has a really good concept at the end of it, especially that you kind of are like, thinking about afterwards. So, yeah. So anyway, I really like that. And I hope you folks enjoyed that as much as I did. And that you'll be back with me next week. Now, remember, next week we are going to have hopefully D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. But if for some reason we can't get a full crew, we really want to have the full party there because they're in the middle of this huge fight, which is closing in on the end of the game. It's not quite the end of the game, but it's closing in on it. So if they're not available to do that, then what I'm going to do instead is we're going to do Talisman Adventures. We're going to like sort of swap them. We'll do Talisman Adventures next week with 3 players instead of 4 because we can manage that a little better given where they are in the respective campaigns. And then the week after that, we will do D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. Otherwise, we'll stay with Storm King's Thunder next week, Talisman Adventures the week after that. And then the week after that, for the first time in I don't know how long, I don't know what I'm going to play yet. I'm going to take the next couple of weeks to kind of look into it and see what game I want to play. There's lots of cool possibilities, but I have not had a situation where I was like, I'm going to play this, then play this, then play this, then play this. I've always had all these things like lined up. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to be like, I'm going to figure it out and see. So I don't know what we're going to play, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah. And I get to do it in my my awesome space, which I'm only talking about so much because I'm just so excited to move into a space that has so much room. So much room. Room. I'm off the mat. Room. Yes, very true. Also, this desk has a nice hook to put my headset, which is nice. So anyway, chat, that's going to do it for me. I ran a little bit over today because nobody was going after me. And so I wanted to get this game done, and I did. And really had fun with this. So thank you all for coming along on the ride with all of me. And thanks for the good turnout as well. If you folks enjoyed it, you were concerned, you should see if I went that direction. Yeah, did I have a lot? I was running out of headset wire at the end there. I was definitely doing that. No, the fam's not doing that at all because the fam can barely hear me, and that's what's so great. I can do everything. I can echo. The power compels you. I am mission critical. Anyway, I hope you folks enjoyed it, and if so, I hope you folks will follow the channel. I hope you'll subscribe to us here on GOG.com, and I hope you will also click to our individual channels and subscribe there as well. If you liked the real-time strategy part of this and wish that I had not just done the computer version of that, I encourage you to check out Dizzy Plays, who is going to give you all kinds of awesome real-time strategy. It's important to note that Dizzy has never actually made a mistake in a real-time strategy game, so when you go to him, you're basically seeing the easy mode of strategy games. Dizzy has made it clear he will never let you down. And so when you go there, you'll find that he will be just perfect at managing absolutely everything. So just remember that he told me that, and he said that he would deny it if I brought it up in public. I am totally not kidding at all. Dan's game to fail fish to not like this is a tremendous emoji progression. Can we just say? Oh my goodness. It was great. But that's going to be it for me. Tomorrow you're going to get Wolfie Lore. In fact, for GOG as a whole, tomorrow you'll get Wolfie Lore playing Deponia 2, and I have no idea how to figure out what that is in terms of daylight savings time. I think that the Wolfie Lore is going on at, I think it's 11 p.m. Eastern, which means I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern, I think, is what it's going on. We'll see. But in any case, that is going to be what's happening. So you'll want to come back for Wolfie Lore tomorrow. Otherwise, I want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for checking us out, following, subscribing, and checking our individual channels. I will be back on my channel. I believe, I don't actually now remember whether we have, give me a second. I don't recall whether on my channel I've got, is Triffid here? Or Echo Alpha X5, or Rock God, or Shadowed Mage, or No Quarter TV, or any of those folks here? Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for being a part of it, Infinity. Are any of those people here? I'm going to look up my calendar quickly. Oh, yes. Triffid, do we have... I'm just looking at my calendar. And we do. So we do have Community D&D tomorrow. So we are going to have the amazing Triffity Mats, Rock God, Echo Alpha X5, and Hoodie, No Quarter TV, with Shadow Mage as your DM playing Community D&D tomorrow night on my channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be Dragon of Icespire Peak. Then on Thursday, if you liked this and you like future stuff, may I encourage everybody to check out Thursday evening on my channel, The Are Vocalists with Neocab, which is a really awesome like sort of noir, near future, cyberpunky type game, which has like really interesting, and the vocalists are my voice team, so you get to hear them voice over the game. Really cool. And then Friday we have Esper Genesis, which is the amazing D&D 5e rule-based space game by Alligator Alley Entertainment. It's really awesome, and they are pulling in, if you like AI, if you like space, if you like space stuff, science fiction, you want to be there for that because it's really cool. And then Saturday we have D&D with Infinity and Beyond, Palace of the Red Pasha. Sunday we have Blades in the Dark, a special joint Speculate Twitch event on my channel. Monday we have Emberwind, another campaign held on my channel. And Tuesday, before we finally get some days off, we have Adventures in Middle-earth on my channel, and as I said, either Talisman Adventures or D&D with GOG. But that is going to do it for me. Thanks everybody so much. I hope everyone had a great time, and I will see all of you folks either on my channel or next week back here 5 Eastern for one more week, and then we go back to normal because Europe will have engaged in the insanity the U.S. already did with daylight savings time, and they will have jumped forward also. So 5 p.m. next week. But that's going to do it for me. Thanks, everybody. It was a great time. And yeah, be thinking Utopia, Dyson Sphere, or destruction. What would you choose? Could you choose? And if so, would it echo? Bye for now, everybody. See you soon.